There's a pretty big debate between passive improvement and active improvement. Should you try to improve your life by just not really focusing on it and letting it improve naturally? Or should you really kind of artistically concentrate on the best things that you can do, the most deliberately amazing actions that you could fulfill in order to improve your character most? And I'm going to present my argument for active improvement, but also kind of talking about how passive improvement is also subjectively really good for other people. I improve in an active manner. I have a little notebook where I write at the end of every single day what action I want to fulfill the next day. It might be cleaning my ears every 2 days. It might be drinking 2 or 3 liters of water. It may be reading a page a day of a book, whatever. Something that I can do in order to actively, very comprehensively improve my character, my personality. Elias Pisot, the person. Some people like to kind of screw, I don't know how to say it, ignore that, and simply just live day to day and just improving things that they find along the way. Oh, I'm walking in a weird manner. I'm just gonna fix that right now. I have a lisp whilst speaking. I'm going to improve that right now. And yes, I think that does work for some people, but it might be a bit overwhelming for others. For example, I have this theory of the double defect that is basically when somebody tells you you're doing something wrong, you can digest it very easily, but if they immediately afterwards tell you something else that you're doing wrong, you're probably going to get overwhelmed and feel inadequate. If I told you right now, hey, you're blinking kind of weirdly, you could probably process that and improve it right now or tomorrow, however you want to. But if I told you, hey, you're blinking kind of weirdly, and your neck doesn't look that good either, you're probably going to get a bit overwhelmed because that's a double defect. That's literally me telling you there are two things wrong with you, very, very evidently, that you have not solved in however long you have been trying to improve. Two things, very obvious things that are wrong with you that you have not improved. That's a bit too overwhelming. That can stress some people. But I do understand why passive improvement does have a lot of success in people who aren't really getting overwhelmed by their defects, that can really solve everything fast. Yeah, there are also some people that kind of solve them, quote unquote, because they implement them for 20 minutes and then stop doing that improvement for the rest of their life. So yeah, it does have some good sides and it does have some bad sides. But continuing with my argument for active improvement, I just think it's a lot more digestible. It's not that layered, but and it's quite simple actually. You might be stressing about remembering what you tried to improve the other day or the other week, the other month, God forbid the other year. But there will probably, if you actually only concentrate on them on a given day, you can probably implement them enough into your character. They can probably settle in and you can implement them for the rest of your life. But if you were to target 10 things at once in a single day, maybe one or two would kind of stick, but you wouldn't have anything too amazing to brag about. So I think that just going for one thing at a time, one day at a time, helps a lot more. And if you want to start doing I think this has changed my life more than anything I've done so far. Probably take a notebook and write the date of tomorrow. Like today is the 30th of July 2024. Tomorrow, just write 31st of July 2024. I'm gonna do this. And you can get more fancy with it. You can have like frontline improvements. You can write 3 things that you want to improve and then write one of those 3 things in your notebook and then replace it and so on and so forth. But for starters, just write it in a notebook, and like in a year, in a decade, by the end of your life, you'll probably have some notebooks that can that serve as a really good chronology for your improvement, for the development of your character. I think that's just the best way of doing it. But if you do not feel like writing in a notebook every single improvement that you make, because yes, it does get kind of stressful, it does get kind of annoying, it wastes a lot of ink and paper and storage. Well, just try to do it in your mind. Try to do it more passively. Maybe it can come naturally. Maybe you're that type of person. But I'm just saying, for me, you need to stick to something. Either stick to passive or active. Don't really alternate between them. Both will happen if you passively improve. You'll also feel the need to actively improve something, and if you actively improve, the best part about that is that you also improve a lot of things that you did not know you could improve, or that you didn't even want to improve. So each of the two methods has its own benefits. You can do whatever you feel like in this case, but just saying, I prefer active. I also get passive improvements. You can prefer passive and also inevitably kind of choose active. Well, whatever. I'll see you later.